Welcome to Valencia, sunny Valencia, and welcome to a little walk around of the Yamaha MT-10 2022 model. We've been riding it this morning, just stopped for a bit of lunch. They're on Dutch plates because Yamaha Motor Europe are based in Amsterdam. And yeah, the name of the game for this year was kind of I suppose it was just a gentle refinement. There's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there's lots of aesthetical tweaks or lots of aesthetical refinements, and of course those wheels, fairly interesting choice. And the MT series is a bit of a saviour for Yamaha. Previously, this was, a brand that was suffering a bit with kind of boring bikes, but not anymore. When the MT series came out, there have been just over 420,000 MTs sold since the launch, which is obviously quite a lot. And it's a European dominated market, and in particular, this is a bike, the MT-10. This is a bike that's been dominated by the UK. Little Ireland, little old UK, is the most successful market in Europe for Yamaha. I don't know the exact numbers, but lots and lots have been sold. It's never been about peak horsepower. This is a bike that is, when you open that, it delivers a smile. That's what it's about. And it's refreshing with all these super nakeds and peak power and willy waving numbers. This is a bike that's about emotions and fun factor, but still very much a super naked, just not in the same tier as Super Dukes and Tuonos, etc. There's no physical connection from the twist grip to the throttle bodies, although it's never been about peak power. There is 7 horsepower more this year, but the focus has been on mid-range, so lots more mid-range, with some R1 internals, and there's a little bit more inertia to make the engine a bit heavier. There is a smaller sprocket so that you get longer gearing. That is down 1 tooth on the sprocket. Quite a big issue for previous owners was the fuel economy. Yamaha have improved that. Not sure exactly on the numbers, but lots of focus on getting the air in and getting the air out. So there's intake and exhaust changes. There's artificial insemination of the airbox to improve sound. Obviously noise is a bit of an issue these days, and they've worked the airbox so you get more of a throaty bark. That is really noticeable, I've got to tell you that. There's now 4 cats in the exhauster, the 4-into-1. There was 2 previously, now there's 4. And the headers are now titanium, although the bike is now 212 kilos wet, 192 dry. It is 2 kilograms heavier than the old bike, but they're balancing weight with cost. Obviously, with the extra technology you got now, we'll get to in a second, with the 6-axis IMU and all the electronics from the MT-10 SP. The chassis is unchanged, although there's a new subframe, so the geometry is, or the frame geometry is the same. Something quite interesting they talked about in the presentation last night was the tweaked suspension. So it's kind of like they didn't really make much of a deal of it, but it's bloody raining. But the forks have been tweaked internally, as has the shock, and the shock spring is now 3mm longer, which doesn't sound a lot, but once you put that through the linkage, it makes a big difference. There's more weight on the front, it's a bit nosier. Something I love, 90-degree tyre valves. That is beautiful, love that. All manufacturers need to do that. And of course we've got Bridgestone S22s, the perfect all-round tyre. They've been pretty handy in the damp conditions today. The seat height is up 10mm to 835mm. Yamaha reckon it's slightly slimmer around the knee pinch point, but I don't feel any difference. Yeah, and under those electronics then, before it starts absolutely pissing down, we've got 6-axis IMU from the MT-10, so you get slide control, TC, lift, you've got cruise control and a speed limiter, which is pretty cool. So it's like a pit lane limiter for 30 mile an hour zones. And all this technology, it measures what you're doing 125 times a second. There's 4 rider modes. All settings can be adjusted independently, which is cool. So you can turn off lift control, or you can turn off TC and still have certain bits you want. So it'll cost you £13,300. Sorry, other markets don't know the cost, but in the UK it'll cost you £13,300. So it's edging towards proper super naked territory, but you know, in today's climate, that's a lot of bang for buck. I love the colours. The Storm. Love the baked logo in the wheels. You can't scratch that off. A lot of people have been saying that you know these wheels, they will take more effort to clean, but yeah, it's look, it's not the prettiest bike in the world, I can tell you that now, and I'm sure others agree with me. Oh, also the brakes have been updated as well. I will find out about that in a separate. I need to find out exactly what the brakes have been tweaked, but still a bit wooden. Still lack the feel that I'd like, and a lot of people would like. But overall, the aesthetics and the looks this year, the job was to minimalise it. So they got rid of a few shrouds and a few bits that weren't necessary, and they've shown off more of the bike underneath. But yeah, there we go. Right, back to lunch. Bye for now.